Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me in this quest to review the Cold Steel 4 Max Scout. Okay, a featherweight knife in my collection, made for gentle use, for cutting, strictly made for cutting, soft materials in the kitchen, for opening your Amazon packages, your letters from loved ones. Please don't ever venture into any remote or to areas with this knife thinking that it's going to save your life or perform any hard cutting tasks, because it will not. If you want something like that, you need to go get something like this, right? But on with this, go crazy and split that kindling, make that fire with this urban carry. Cold Steel 4 Max Scout. What do we have here? A 9+ ounce folding knife. Yes, this thing folds. Yes, you press this giant bar that looks like it could support the weight of a pickup truck, and the knife folds very competently. Look at that. The tension is unbelievable. The size of just the sheer metal that you see here is unbelievable. The size of the handle is also unbelievable. So is the grip. So is the comfort in hand. This knife will surprise you if you ever hold it. What they're trying to do here is they're bringing the 4 Max designed by Andrew Demko from for Cold Steel at a much more reasonable price. Not that this is using any introductory steels. This is using AUS-10A, which is, in my experience, very competent. I've used AUS-10A in other Cold Steel blades, and it has done really well. I remember cutting up a lot of carpet on my with the Cold Steel Voyager in AUS-10A, and it held the edge surprisingly well. Also slicing up boxes week in and week out. This steel is really gaining some reputation as of late. I don't want to compare it to any other steels, but I have to say that I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. Okay, Cold Steel, made in Taiwan, AUS-10A. Taiwan has demonstrated with Spyderco and Cold Steel that they can really put out some decent products. They can. They have the craftsmanship and the knowledge and the manufacturing processes and quality controls that result in really good quality products. Okay, so the blade folded it's way over 6 inches long. Okay, the thickness, the length of the blade itself is 4 inches. I don't have all the specs with me. For some reason, I don't see them listed anywhere anymore, but this is at least 4 millimeters. I want to say 4.5, but it's at least 4 inches, true 4 inches, not like the Voyager that says 4 inches and is barely 3.88. Okay, this is true 4 inches, just like the SR1 is true 4 inches. It seems to me that these higher quality cold steels are also receive a higher quality specs list. So the blade is very broad, right? And the thickness behind the edge is not as thick as an overbuilt knife like this normally has. Because of the broad blade, they can afford to come down gradually and give you some really good and surprisingly effective cutting performance. It really cuts well. This will surprise you, just like the AD-10 surprises most people by the way it cuts. By the way, this is my favorite Cold Steel ever. Okay, I've had this knife for a week, and I have good things to say about it. Stay tuned for that. So the 4 Max is just way overbuilt, yet it cuts well. The blade profile is very similar to what you get in the AD-10. It's similar to what you get in the Ultimate Hunter. Okay, but this guy allows you to baton and really rough it up if you have to. Okay, you can rough it up. This guy can take it. I don't detect any up or down. Sometimes the trial locks will have up and down. It's really not a miracle lock. Yes, it's not going to fail on you, potentially, right? Because of the pin that you have there, an extremely oversized lock pin there that is sandwiched between the lock bar and the tang of the blade. it shouldn't fold on you in hard use. But what I was saying is that some of these strands have up and down. This one does not. I remember having a tall wire that had some play, and I've seen that before as well in other models. This baby is good to go, really good to go. Okay, so let's talk about the handle now, because the handle is well thought out as well. I can tell Mr. Demko has comfort in mind when he designs these overbuilt pieces. This choil here is effective. Okay, the jimping is mild. It's kind of deep, but not as sharp. But I think it's effective, right? I'm yet to try it with gloves. I can touch on that later. But with bare hands, it is comfortable. By the way, my hands are large. They're not medium. They're not XL. They are large. Okay. So the choil here is really comfortable. It allows you to come all the way up if you want to. You can also migrate the fingers and scrape up or do something in this motion. The choil it doesn't protrude as much as not choil, but yeah, I guess the finger choil here behind the guard. It's not as, you don't have this wave-like feature here. That choil does not come as much in this direction, but it's effective enough where you get a bit of a pistol grip. You can get a pistol grip here. For example, it's not as effective as it is on the Lawman, right? That Lawman allows you a lot more to grip with your index, okay? Your index is stuck there. It's not as stuck here, although in the combination of the thickness of the handle, the jimping, and the traction that you get in the grivery, you're really comfortable here. This is what makes it interesting. You can come down, and because of the flare, you can really place yourself behind this minimal guard, and with the aid of the flare, have a really secure grip here in the back. This is really secure. This is as good or better than many knives already, without even talking about the other two-hand positions that you can get. So, well thought out design, well thought out handle. Okay, the action is really good. Enough tension when inside the handle. Okay, deployment is very smooth. I don't even want to try flicking it. I may knock over the camera or my personality, so I'm just gonna do it quick, slowly. There we go. It is smooth. For a knife this size, it's really smooth. Okay. Don't know what that hole is there for. I guess you could put, let's say, an Allen key there and lock it in place permanently. Good luck trying that. Just look at the thickness of the lock bar there. This is why this knife is almost 10 ounces. Okay, it's just, everything is overbuilt and thick. I believe this is a grivery backspacer. I don't think it's aluminum like it is on the AD-10. I think it's grivery. The pocket clip is your typical extremely high retention pocket clips from cold steel. I'll be honest here, I've learned to appreciate them for what they are. I guess that their philosophy, it must be that their philosophy is for the knife to never ever come out of your pocket, right? If someone was to try to pull it from you, if you fell down a rock into a water, it's not gonna go to the bottom of the river. Those kind of extreme scenarios that they seem to go for when they design these gigantic overbuilt pieces, right? So from that perspective, it does make sense that it retains so aggressively. Okay, yes, we would prefer to see something like this always. Okay, but I do see where they're coming from, and from that perspective, I accept them. It's okay. They are really tight, and that's what it is. Okay. So to wrap it up, a knife that I recommend that you try it to get a feel of such an overbuilt design by Demko on cold steel. Okay, it's, I don't want to say it's impractical, because yes, it could be practical. You can chop stuff with this. You can chop down branches and small trees with this blade in this position, guaranteed. A lot better than you could with, let's say, the recently reviewed benchline Leku, which is 5.12 inches or so, 5.25. So this gives a lot more weight in the front for this type of action. So yes, it's useful, and yet it folds. You know, You can go to the trailhead and go to the visitor center and not scare families, because this will be hiding in your pocket. Yet when you're on the trail and you get to camp, you have this much blade with you to do some work. Okay, really impressed from that perspective. The fact that it's like a pocket sword when you deploy it. I just wish it was lighter. I may drill down the hole later on if I have time, which I doubt. I would prefer to see the handle, the aluminum. They should be aluminum handle scales drilled down for weight reduction, but it is what it is. Take it or leave it. I take it. Thanks for joining me.